Not too long ago, Valve released the Steam Machine, but they also gave us SteamOS. And considering the current price and performance of the Steam Machine, building your own has become a very attractive option. So today, I'm installing the official SteamOS on the Beelink SER8 to turn this little mini PC into a dedicated gaming machine. With Valve's latest SteamOS release, you can now install the official operating system on supported AMD powered PCs. AMD hardware is currently the best option here, while SteamOS may put on some Intel systems. NVIDIA graphics cards are not officially supported and can experience compatibility and performance issues. So therefore, I'll be installing SteamOS on this little PC. Now this is Beelink SER8. It is powered by the AMD Ryzen 7 8745HS processor paired with 32 gigs of DDR5 memory running at 5600 MHz. Graphics are handled by the AMD Radeon 780M integrated GPU, which is still one of the fastest integrated graphics solutions currently available. Storage comes in the form of a fast 1TB PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSD, meaning games load quickly and the whole system feels incredibly responsive. Pricing will vary depending on where you buy it, but considering this costs significantly less than buying a Steam machine, let's see if this SteamOS can turn into a true console-like gaming experience. Now the installation process is actually very straightforward. You'll need an USB thumb drive with at least 8 gigs of storage. Download the official SteamOS image from Valve website and use Rufus to flash it to your USB drive. Depending on your USB stick, this process usually takes around 5 minutes. Now, before starting the installation, we do need to disable Secure Boot. Next, with the USB plugged in, simply press F7 while booting to access the boot menu, then select the USB drive. You'll see a bunch of text and code scrolling across the screen, which is completely normal. But once everything loads, you'll be presented with 4 different options. And the one we're interested in is wipe device and install SteamOS. But just keep in mind that this will completely erase everything on the drive, so make sure you backed up everything important beforehand. From here, installation itself is surprisingly quick. Now I gotta say, even the first boot is impressively fast. From here, it's just a matter of selecting your language, choosing your time zone, and connecting to Wi-Fi. In my case, SteamOS immediately downloaded another update, restarted the system, and it went through a second setup process. Now, this time I needed both a keyboard and mouse connected. After that, all that was left was logging into my Steam account, and the system was ready to go. So just to quickly show you, under system settings, we can see we running the latest SteamOS Holo build version 3.8.14, and the operating system correctly detects the Ryzen 7 processor, the Radeon 780M graphics, and all the DDR5 of memory. But one thing I really want to test was Bluetooth control support. And this is GameSir G7 Pro 8K Aim Labs Edition. Unfortunately, while the controller paired successfully, it disconnected immediately every single time. I even tried disconnecting the keyboard and mouse, thinking they might have been interfering, but the result was exactly the same. Thankfully, Bluetooth speakers worked perfectly fine, and the included USB wireless dongle for the controller also worked without any issues here. Moving right along, one feature I really like here is the quick access menu. By pressing the home button together with the A button on the controller, you can quickly bring up the performance overlay, access Decky loader, customize themes, and adjust performance settings and even connect USB devices without leaving your game. Honestly, it feels just like using a Steam Deck. Of course, SteamOS isn't just about gaming, we also get access to desktop mode, and everything feels exactly like a Steam Deck running Linux. Wi Fi remained stable throughout all my testings, although I did get a strange low battery notification even though the mini PC was connected to main power. Apart from that, Discovery worked perfectly for installing applications, changing wallpapers, and using the system just like a regular Linux desktop. Now, when it comes to media consumption, I had absolutely no issues here. YouTube worked exactly as expected, and just like on my Steam Deck, I'm using Vacuum Tube for a cleaner YouTube experience with support for resolution up to 1440p. Yellowfin also worked flawlessly, making this a fantastic little media machine alongside gaming. Now, while Wi-Fi performed really well, the SER8 also comes equipped with a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port. Once connected with an Ethernet cable, I was seeing download speeds peaking at around 790 megabytes, making game downloads considerably faster. Getting into some gaming, first up, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Running at around 50 frames per second, gameplay feels incredibly smooth with only the occasional dip during heavier areas. Combat feels responsive, exploration is fluid, and overall, this is a fantastic experience considering everything is running on integrated graphics. Next up, we have Hogwarts Legacy, which is easily one of the more demanding games I've tested. Even running at 1080p ultra settings, we averaging around 40 FPS, which honestly exceeded my expectations. There are occasional drops in busier scenes, but overall the game remains surprisingly enjoyable and perfectly playable here. Moving right along, Batman Arkham Knight also performs really well here. At 1080p high settings, we're averaging around close to 60 FPS with some drops while gliding across the city and during larger combat encounters. Even so, gameplay remains smooth and very enjoyable here. Next up, we have Darksiders 3. Running at 1080p using medium to high settings, we're averaging around 50 FPS, giving us another smooth experience with responsive controls and very consistent performance here. And finally, I want to test Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Running at 1080p using epic settings, we're averaging around 30 FPS, often climbing into the high 30s depending on the area. Considering the graphic settings, I was honestly impressed here. Combat feels responsive, movement is smooth, and this is definitely one of the games I'll be happily play from start to finish using SteamOS. So yeah, overall I have to say I'm generally impressed with the official SteamOS experience on the Beelink SER8. Apart from Bluetooth controller issue and the strange low battery notification, everything else worked surprisingly well here. Game mode feels polished, desktop mode gives you that flexibility of a full Linux desktop, and gaming performance has honestly exceeded my expectations. Now, compared to Windows, SteamOS feels much more like a dedicated gaming console. You press the power button, jump straight into your game library, and everything feels clean, simple, and completely controller friendly. Windows still offers better compatibility and gives you access to more launchers, applications, and software. But if your main goal is to turn a mini PC into a living room gaming system, SteamOS is honestly a fantastic option here. If is there anything else you like to see running on this mini PC, let me know down in the comments and I'll do my best to test it. And if you're interested in learning more about the Beelink SER8, I've left some links down in the description. Do drop a like and consider subscribing. But as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.